Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Mono White Heroic. This is a deck that's been around for a while, but it's gotten some real nice buffs recently, and Sodek took this exact list, got a third place in a challenge recently, and we've just been seeing more trophies with the deck recently, ever since Spider-Man came out, because Wonderweave Aerialist has been a pretty good card for this deck. 2-2 with Ward 2, and as long as it's modified, it has Flying. We also have a Crow and Skyguard, and Laguna Band Trailblazer, which both get counters every single time you target them, and then a 1 of Sacred Cat, which doesn't grow, but lifelink can be really strong against burn matchups, and also having a creature that comes back from the dead is really nice too. The reason I wanted to try this deck out is because with the new Avatar set, I really wanted to find a deck that is using the Learn mechanic to some decent effect, and so this one is playing 4 Guiding Voice, which is just a white mana to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then you learn. We have only 2 lessons in our sideboard. The main one you're going to want to be grabbing is Sokka's Sword Training. This is another way to target your creature, which triggers your heroic twice, once with the Guiding Voice, once with the Sword Training. It gives +2/+2 and makes a clue, which is not a bad ability at all. And then also we have an Airbending lesson. Airbend target non-land permanent, draw a card. This is a little more expensive, not necessarily the best thing ever, but it can remove a blocker, very notably, or if you really need, you can save your own creature. But of course, you're going to lose all of the enchantments on it, so that's not generally the best thing to do. Other than that, pretty standard with all of our auras and things like that. But we are leaning very much into defeating mono red decks with 4 Spirit Links in the main deck, not to mention the Sacred Cat. We have 4 Sentinel's Eyes, 4 Hyena Umbra, 4 Ethereal Armor, 4 Homestead Courage to trigger all of our heroic creatures twice, Emerge Unscathed as protection, and Benevolent Blessing as persistent protection, and 17 Planes. In the sideboard, very interesting Doomed Traveler, not one I would ever expect to see here. A lifelink, 2 Lorn's Escape, 3 Mask of Law and Grace, 3 Shield of Duty and Reason, the lessons I mentioned, 2 Fair Macabre, and a Gut Shot. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Alright, we're on the play here, and we don't really have any protection for our creatures, but we do have 2 of them. And just playing one out on the play with a Homestead Courage, Ethereal Armor, Spirit Link, is going to be really strong. If we're against red, we can just Spirit Link and get this up really strong really quickly. If we're against blue, might be a little tougher. I think we start with the Ethereal Armor in case there's a Force Spike, and then go for the Courage. Just try to attack for 4 here. If it's Terror, which is most likely, then we really just need to dodge Demon Inferior, and we'll be okay. So if we can find a Benevolent Blessing, that would be ideal. They're going to just leave up Counterspell mana. And we're going to hope there's no Boomerang too, I suppose. Cast a Spirit Link here, Courage, then attack for 8, which hits. We gain 8 life, and then we're going to play a Trailblazer because I don't care if they counter this. And if they do have like a Demon Inferior or something, at least we'll have a creature that can attack next turn, assuming we can grow it a little bit. They Brainstorm, and they do Force Spike the Trailblazer. Mental Note, Double Deep Analysis, although if they cast one of those, they're just going to lose. Cryptic Serpent, okay, that's got a chump block, and if we get protection from blue here, we'll just win. We don't, but at least we can force a chump block from a 6/5, which is pretty nice, and we still gain a bunch of life. Play a Skyguard. They flashback the Deep Analysis, so they are desperate, and or they have the Demon Inferior, which, you know, they would be making it 1 mana, but they're also going for Brainstorm, and they concede. So we get the fast first game, which is really nice. Mask of Duty and Reason is pro-blue, so we bring those in for sure. Lorn's Escape, does that give hexproof? Artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible, so that one comes in for sure. And Fairy Macabre is like, okay, it's not the best thing ever. As long as we can find protection, we basically just win, I think. So I think we keep all of our protection in. Well, like, protection that lasts. If we can find one of these, we pretty much just win. So I think maybe we cut the Guiding Voices for this and, like, 1 Sentinel's Eyes. I mean, they're not going to have a ton of ways to bounce our stuff, even from the sideboard, but that's okay. Wonderweave is more expensive. It's slower, so it might just get eaten by a Counterspell, in which case this hand gets really bad. But if it doesn't, Ward can be really strong, and that's a very good top deck, although obviously it could get Force Spiked. But it doesn't. That's pretty good. So if we can land Shield of Duty and Reason next turn, that would be pretty strong. They leave up, obviously, Counterspell mana to counter this, so I think I'd probably go for the Hyena Umbra then. And we can hold up Emerge Unscathed. Or I could just go for the Courage, but then if they have the Demon Inferior, it's kind of bad. I think we'll just swing for 2. Pass. Cycle Alorian. Ponder. They draw a card. I think I'm just going to Emerge Unscathed to trigger and get some more damage in. I mean, I'm not expecting Demon... If they have Demon Fear, it's not going to obviously do anything here. If they have a Boomerang and bounced it, that would actually tap them out, and I could play the Trailblazer and the Shield of Duty and Reason, so that wouldn't be too bad. We get a Plains, so I could go for Shield. I think I cast the Wonderweave, actually. And then if they counter that, then I could put the shield on here. But yeah, maybe they just don't care about that. Alright, well, we'll grow this with the thing that I don't really care if they counter. And then next turn I can always just like start buffing the Wonder Weave as well. They Thought Scour in response, hit a Serpent and an Island, swing for 6, and cycle a Lorien. They play Murmuring Mystic. That is not going to do it. Now we get to make this unblockable. We get to make this flying. This is 10 damage, so this will be 12. I mean, they must not have had much else going on, but we get to just kill him now because we have protection from blue and from green, and this has flying. Deal him Xaxes. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Alright, this hand is another decent one. Turn 1 Trailblazer on the play with some 1-drops. We can also just give protection from a color right away if they're like mono blue or mono red. That would be pretty good. And if they're mono red, we have a Spirit Link, so that'd be really nice. Well, Silver Bluff Bridge, so they're probably Grixis, in which case Blessing on red would probably be our best bet. Well, that's not an easy one to call, because Blessing on red gets us out of Galvanic Blast, but we can already get out of Galvanic Blast really easily. It helps us against Krark Death Touch, though, but not Cast Down. They don't usually play that many Cast Downs. I think we just go for this on red. It's only 1 damage. I think it's probably the safest, though. Well, now they're Teamer Scred, it looks like, so maybe I don't know what's going on at all, but that's okay. We'll Guiding Voice, take Sword Training, and attack. We'll give +2/+2 and get a clue. I mean, if they are Scred, like, obviously we're already way too big for it, but also the protection from red does help. They could also be Scred / Wildfire. Heritage Reclamation to cycle. Interesting. They don't care to use that to blow up the Blessing. Maybe because if their removal is Screds, they're not going to be able to kill it anyway. They just used it to draw a card. Another Guiding Voice. Well, we'll use that and I guess hold up the Airbend just in case. Attack for 6. Next turn we can make it 7 with the Spirit Link. I mean, we're looking fine. But they could have just like a Chrysalis here. Yeah. Airbending that doesn't seem very productive. So let's just crack a clue. Another Spirit Link. Alright, Wonder Weave with flying is decent. We'll just attack here. They chump and sack. We'll go ahead and play our creatures. We'll even give the Wonder Weave flying, I suppose. I mean, this Blessing hasn't really been bad, I don't think, but it hasn't really done much, I don't think. I mean, they could have had like 2 bolts or something, but again, it has such high toughness, it probably wouldn't matter anyway. I expect, yeah, Scred now on the Wonder Weave. Sure. Well, no reason to build up this Trailblazer right now. I think we're just going to Spirit Link here to make sure it's actually lethal, so that they do have to keep chump blocking it. Hopefully they run out of chump blockers. / the air bending lesson, which they know about. Maybe that can clear a blocker. Crimson Fleet Commodore. Okay, interesting. So if I airbend that, they can regain the Monarch, but they're going to have to chump with the Chrysalis, which I think is fine. And if I can get any way to grow this, I can maybe take the Monarch, depending on what they have. I kind of expect a counterspell here, but we'll see. Dispel, same thing. Hyena Umbra makes this a 2/6. That lets it attack in. They could block it here. They have to chump. Oh, this is protection from red, though, actually. So they have to chump here, which means this is a 2/6. They could have a Scred, but I'm going to hope they don't. Okay, they did not. So that means they have to either let us take the Monarch or chump here, either of which is pretty fine. Alright, we get the Monarch, we eat their Chris, we gain a bunch of life, and we draw Sentinel's Eyes. That's pretty good with the Monarch. They cast a Lorien Revealed, and they concede. Alright. Didn't have a way to get around the protection from red, so it actually was pretty good. They have Screds, and they have those guys, so Mask of Long Grace could be worthwhile. Lauren's Escape is probably decent, although probably not better than Emergent Scathed. Guiding Voice was okay. I think Benevolent Blessing is still probably better than this, although I think red is their main color that's going to matter for creatures and removal, clearly. So maybe we do cut a couple blessings for that. Well, a little creature heavy, and they're all 2-drops, but these are really good cards. Umbra and Armor are really strong, and these guys are good, obviously. Start with a Preordain. Another Umbra. So we probably start with an Aerialist, because that was 1 turn too late. Start with Aerialist because the Skyguard just dies really easily. This at least has Ward 2, so if they want to scred it, they need to pay 3 mana for it, which looks like they will, or Bolts. At least it uses their whole turn, though, and now I get to, like, Trailblazer Umbra, which I guess I could have done anyway. Or I could play another Aerialist and see if they go for the same thing again. I think we'd probably Trailblazer Umbra, though. They have Chris. Emerge Unscathed is nice. Because if they have like a way to bounce or something, which seems unlikely, I don't know. I could just Ethereal Armor Sentinel's Eyes. We have a giant creature. They can't kill with a Scred. They could have a Heritage Reclamation, but it's still going to be too difficult to kill. I think we just hope for the best and don't hold up this Unscathed this turn. Unfortunately, we have to, if we want to play any of these, I can't also play one of our creatures, because I wouldn't mind getting another creature down to grow, but the mana cost is a little awkward. If we get like a land here, then I could play like an Aerialist with an Umbra, which is a possibility. Cleansing Wildfire. We're going to attack for 8. They're going to take it this time. And I'll play a Skyguard. They have Counterspell mana, so I'd rather this gets counterspelled than the Wonderweave. Murmuring Mystic is pretty good. And then bolt the Skyguard. Sentinel's Eyes. We'll attack for 8. They chump with the Spawn. I like that. I think they should have chumped with the... Unless they're going to use this mana. They should have chumped with the Bird, because the Bird is a color I can gain protection from. So like next turn if I go Emerge Unscathed, they're going to have to chump with the Chrysalis. And then the following turn, assuming they can't get a colorless creature, I can do it again and be unblockable. That's the goal. They play a Bountiful Landscape. 6. If they have double Scred as their last 2 cards, they could kill this, but they probably wouldn't... Well, they could kill the Hyena Umbra, but they probably wouldn't want to wait till now for it. If I Emerge Unscathed, pro blue, they have to chump with the Chrysalis, and then I win next turn. That's our goal, right? I think so. Obviously, if they have a counterspell, this is not going to work, but that's okay. They have Ice to tap target permanent and draw a card. That is unfortunate. Obviously not what I was expecting. Hyena Umbra on the Aerialist. Swing with the Chrysalis. They must have another Ice or another Chrysalis here. Yeah, that's what I was... Or Commodore, interesting. Okay, well, because I do get Rebound from this, so I can give pro blue, so they have to chump with the Commodore. Or if I'm lucky, I just get another protection spell, but I did not. Make sure this is lethal, so they absolutely have to block it. Give Wonderweave Vigilance, so we'll swing. Well, it really depends on how they top deck. If they just draw a bunch of lands, I mean, they have the Monarch, but if they miss on a couple draws, then we could be very much okay. But if they just keep getting ways to trigger the Mystic, we're going to be in a tough spot. Realizing I pulled out some Blessings. I mean, the lifelink spells might not be as important here, although if I had one, it would be like, go a long way to not losing on the back foot. Whatever. We're going to give more Vigilance, get this big enough to survive blocks from Chris and some birds. They have more Ices. That's interesting. Heritage Reclamation to blow up the Umbra, and then they just have a Scred. So I have this one creature. Alright, I mean, if we can find a Blessing or something. But, I mean, they've just drawn all the right cards. That's exactly what they've been wanting. Into a Lorien. Nice. They attack with a bunch. They gotta have counterspells or another Chris, otherwise I just... a protection spell would give me lethal here. But we don't get the protection spell, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess protection's everything, isn't it? We didn't draw any... Spirit Links anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but this is just not a match where we really need them. And I guess Lauren's Escape gives hexproof, so those are good too. Over like a Guiding Voice. On the play, we have a Trailblazer and a bunch of 1-drops. Sure. We don't have any way to give protection, so maybe this is just bad, because I can get tapped down by ice and stuff like that, but oh, perfect. That's a nice draw. Obviously, we're going to give it Umbra Armor and I think just Sentinel's Eyes to start. Kind of expect there to be ice here, but I don't have much else. So, Guiding Voice and Ethereal Armor. Oh, there wasn't. Attack for 10 then? I mean, maybe they'll save it for when it's lethal, but it feels like if they had it here, they could have used their mana more efficiently, so I don't know. Now they have it. I'm just going to use this now to get a clue, because the +2/+2 does not really matter, and the clue does. I don't think it matters to give it a counter and vigilance either. And there's Chris. Of course. Another Guiding Voice. Okay, Mask of Law and Grace. I mean, protection from red and black is not the best thing ever. I mean, because it already can't die to a Scred, but now it can't get blocked by their Crimson Fleet at any point. I guess maybe bringing in the blue one would have been better now that we realized there was a Mystic. That's okay. And Ice as well. Cleansing Wildfire. Merge Unscathed. They block and sack. I might as well get my other lesson. I guess the lesson's decent. I was going to say I can also loot with this. Or rummage, rather. But theoretically, this can get rid of this, and then Emergent Scathed, if they get like a Mystic, could get past blue. But not really expecting all of that to work. Plus, we'd need a land, and they'd need no counterspell. They'd need to have no counterspells, things like that. There's the Commodore. And a land. So I could Emergent Scathed on the end step here, because they're holding up Heritage Reclamation. But I could Emergent Scathed to give pro red, and then at my upkeep I get pro red, so they can't block with the Crimson Fleet. That is, even if they blow up the Heritage, the Mask. But they probably have Ice here, so that's not going to work. I have to hold it. Because I was going to say, then I could Airbend the Chris and win, but if they just have Ice, I need the Emergent Scathed. There's no reason to make this any bigger, so I'm not going to. We're going to hold these in case we get another creature that we can grow later. Eat Chris and pass. They got another one. I mean, Crystals is like the answer to this whole deck. We don't have Trample. We just, like normal Bogles, but we have Protection, but this can't be protected from, so that's pretty annoying. Each Chrysalis gets them 3 more turns with the Monarch, more or less. They cast Lorien, and then pass the turn, discard a land and a bolt, swing for 15, and we'll pass. They bolt us. Interesting. I guess they're already drawing enough cards that they're having to discard bolts, so probably just might as well. There's another Chrysalis. Yeah. If I could just get a second creature to grow here, then I could get through this a lot quicker, I think. Benevolent Blessing. I mean, that can go on blue, but that's not currently solving my issue. There's another Commodore. They're the Monarch again. I guess I'll cast this on the Trailblazer. See what they want to do about it. Protection from Grixis now. Swing, and they chump. They got another bolt on us. So let's see, we block Chrysalis, we take 14. We have no way to gain life, so we're just dead if they attack. Actually, no, we can, because we can airbend one of them away. Benevolent Blessing. Swing, Heritage Reclamation on the Benevolent Blessing. We'll cast another one in response. And they counterspell. And I'll Emerge Unscathed to give pro blue so that they can't block with the birds. And if they counter this, then I'll just concede. Yep, they just kind of had everything. Alright, finally we got a mulligan. One lander without a 1-drop creature. And that seems bad. This one doesn't seem very good either. We can get a 3/3 life-linking first strike flyer with Ward and Umbra Armor. I guess it's not the best thing ever, but if we can just get like 1 Ethereal Armor or something, it's pretty good. It's good against, well, pretty decent against red and a number of other things. So I guess we'll try it. And looks like we're against Poison Storm with, I mean, this should be a decent matchup for us, but just the slowest possible start we could have. And, of course, Spirit Link doesn't do anything at all. Leyline Weaver. Okay, maybe it's something different, but then again, I could see them trying this out in this deck. I think, honestly, playing the Trailblazer makes more sense, because the flying doesn't matter, and this at least grows with the Spirit Links. So we're going to cast this. So yeah, it could be some other weird deck. It could be Ruby Storm. Yeah, Ruby Storm plays the 4 drops, like big score. Yeah, Ruby probably makes more sense. In which case, the Spirit Links will matter. Certainly not as much against, like, a normal burn deck, but still a little bit. Okay, there's the big score. I mean, if they infinite us, we're going to die regardless, obviously. But if they don't infinite, like 2 Spirit Links on here is already gaining us at least 8 life next turn, which could be decent. They have a Thornscape, Leyline Weaver. Yeah, so the Weavers are kind of like cost reducers for anything 4 or greater. And they have 3 of them. That's crazy. Sentinel's Eyes is pretty decent. So yeah, we're just going to go all in on this guy and hope for the best. 6 power, but we gain 12 life off of it, which is not bad. Again, life not as relevant as I would like it to be, but obviously it's what we got. First Day of Class, which gives them Waterbending Lesson to draw a bunch. That's pretty interesting. Waterbending Lesson untaps all of these. It's kind of cool tech. Goblin and Narcomancer gets a counter. Thornscape Familiar gets a counter. I mean, luckily they can't just attack us with a bunch of these guys. It's not going to matter. Glimpse the Impossible hits Seize the Storm. That's what I was expecting. Makes a big guy and it'll get a counter in haste. Glimpse the Impossible. But did they just run out of mana? So I guess Seize the Storm goes to Graveyard. They can use it next turn. Fair enough. Plains is pretty rough. And they can block with a spawn and sack it here if they want us to not gain life. But I guess they don't care about that. Probably the Wonder Weave and pass. Another First Day of Class. Probably another Waterbending Lesson. Indeed. Although they don't currently have blue mana, so they'll big score away the Waterbending Lesson. Another big score. This is now, of course, netting the mana because it only costs a single red to play, and it gets them to untap all 3 Weavers. Seize the Storm. I mean, it's going to be big. This storm count's blocking it. It's 14-14, but it's not that big. Hyena Umbra. Let's see. These all have reach, notably. So I could give this flying, and it could attack in, but that's not great. I could give this another +2/+2, but that's not big enough to attack into the elemental. So I think I give this flying, and I have a 3-turn clock / I get to start eating weavers. They could block with all 3. I get to first strike one of them down, and they get to eat the Hyena Umbra. Probably the smart thing to do, but at least I kill one of them. I don't have a lot else going on. And they've, run out of steam a couple of these times, but they just draw another, Electric Revelation or something, and they're going to have plenty of card advantage again. Flash it back, discard a land. First day of class. They have, I guess their sideboard's just stocked with Waterbending Lessons, which makes sense. They're going to go through a lot of their deck. So they're going to cast that, and Waterbend 2, tapping a couple spawn, Pirate's Pillage, a Narcomancer. I mean, I assume they'll have at least 2 Seize the Storms in the deck, but if it's just the one, there's the second one. Okay, I was going to say, they got to make a bunch of these. Flash it back, 319 power creatures. I mean, that's not quite lethal, but if they attack with everything, it would be. Actually, I have first strike, so this means it might not be. Oh, but they do have trample. Well, I have to block, and I'm going to lose because I guess my guy doesn't quite die because the Hyena Umbra. Gain a bunch of life. I think we're not quite dead. 19. Benevolent Blessing. Man, imagine that could make this unblockable, but they have colorless spawn, and also it's not lethal anyway, so they got there. Fair Macabre, I guess, is something. Gutshot can kill their Thornscapes, but nothing else. Protection from red would be good just because of blockers, maybe. I mean, the lifelink was semi-relevant. Like, it kept us alive a little bit, but it just doesn't add damage, and in the end, they're going to have the inevitability, so I think we could just get rid of those. And they're probably not going to have removal, so I don't think the blessings, like, instant speed is that important. I think I'd rather just have the cheaper versions. Sure, let's do that. Skyguard. Flying is good, though. It can't get chumped, and then we have ways to make it big enough. It's kind of a slow hand. Also, if they did bring in, like, lightning bolts or something, if they have that from the side, then Skyguard dies before I can grow it, and then I probably just lose. But if not, I feel like the flying is pretty good and might help us get there. Start with a Woodlot, which is green. That's a good sign. Of course, they could just have a mountain and a way to kill it, but there's a Narcomancer, Thornscape. I mean, they could also just combo way quicker than we can do anything, but we're gonna grow this guy and swing for 5. We have him on like a 3-turn clock here. Yeah, even if we get a land, so feels like it might be a little slow with them having 2 of these guys right up front. Big score away a land. Gutshot would have been a nice draw to hit this familiar. All right, that's all they have. Ethereal Armor, that does make this bigger, quicker. I can't make it lethal this turn regardless, though, so I might as well just Guiding Voice. Take this. I kind of assume they won't block. Then again, with the Airbending Lesson they see, they could know that it's lethal next turn, but okay. They take it, so with Emergence Gate, we should get them next turn, assuming we don't lose first. Glimpse of the Impossible hits 3 lands. That's pretty good for us. Pretty lucky. And they're just going to pass. And I'm going to give this pro red. Try to get the win. Looks like that should work. All right, we get that game. Yeah, I think the flyer is definitely better, seeing as they also have a way to make spawn, and they have 2 different colored creatures. I think going in on the flyer is our best bet. So Akron Skyward being our best one, probably because it grows. Wonder Weave could be okay if we also have like Ethereal Armors to get it big enough, but I think we want to try to mulligan to a flyer, honestly. Yikes. I mean, this hand sucks, even if it has our flyer. This one doesn't have our flyer. It also just kind of sucks because it's only got 1 way to pump. This has 1 mana. It does have our flyer. We're down to 5. I think I'm going to keep it. Hope we draw lands, but get rid of this. And honestly, for flying, the protection shouldn't matter too much. Or I could get rid of the Gutshot, but I kind of think we're going to be slow enough that the Gutshot taking out a Thorn could be good. Thornscape familiar, that is. Could be good and important. Oh yeah, I brought in these Fairy Macabres, and I don't think they're very good, but it just felt like I didn't have a lot of ways to interact with them. There's the Thornscape. And we're going to kill it. We don't have a land, but, I mean, they did have to burn half their land on the Thornscape. They didn't have anything for red. They didn't have a Archaeomancer, that's the one. Maybe they just have another Thornscape? Yeah. And another. Well, I don't have ways to kill those. I guess we'll just lose to not drawing a land, though. Literally just attacking with these guys will kill us. There's the Narcomancer. Their hand looks like it sucks, too. Please give us a Plains. Okay, maybe we have a shot, because next turn I can go... I can't block this turn, obviously, but next turn I can go Vigilance and, like, Hyena Umbra, attack for 5, but Of course, they have 3 of these guys, so like, yeah, big scorers. Netting the mana, first day of class. Electric Revelation, discarding the waterbending. Oh, gotcha, because the waterbending lesson's actually not very good without the ley lines, because it's not reduced by any of these. Manamorphose, sure. I can macabre this Revelation, but they can just use it in response, so it's not going to be any good at the moment. They flash it back, draw 2, seize the storm. Makes a big guy, and it has haste, and they just attack with everybody, and I just die. Alright, we have too many Trailblazers, but we do have some pretty decent ways to pump them, and ideally, maybe the first one just dies. Like, if we're against red, they have to try to kill them, because if we gain lifelink, they're just in a terrible spot. But they plot a highway robbery, so it doesn't look like that'll matter. Ooh, ethereal armor. I mean, we need to go fast regardless, but also if we can find our lifelink, then we'll just win as long as we can gain enough life. So we're just going all in on one creature. Unfortunately, that means like 3 of our cards are dead. And also Gutter Snipe could just kill us, theoretically. Not this turn, I don't think, but next turn maybe. Highway Robbery. Give me the Spirit Link. Snacker comes back. That's annoying too. Alright, let's try to make sure we can deal lethal next turn. So I can Homestead Courage. That hits for 6. And then I play a Skyguard, which could just die to a bolt, or even a lava dart. That'd be annoying. I don't think I can kill them next turn even. Like I could Homestead Courage, Emergent Scathed, we hit for 7, and then next turn it flashes back, but then I can't give it pro both colors, so, and also that's not even lethal because it would be 8. Unfortunately, I kind of think I just this might be bad. I was gonna say Skyguard dies to lava dart, and I don't want that to happen, so I Skyguard Homestead Courage, but then it dies to a bolt still. Or I could just leave up Emergent Scathed. That doesn't seem very good either. Let's just do this and hope it doesn't die to a bolt. Another Gutter Snipe. Well, that's not a good sign. They don't kill us there, but we just draw planes. Well, we're going to attack with both. We can play blockers for these 2 Gutter Snipes and hope we don't die to a bunch of burn. No bolt on the end step is interesting. Robbery deals us 4 though. Fiery Temper deals us 7. And they have a Lightning Bolt. All the Spirit Links against every opponent that's not red. And then none of them here, of course. Blessing's expensive. We get Mask of Law and Grace, Lifelink, Fairy Macabres. Alright. We have a Skyguard. And ways to make him enormous. Unfortunately, Skyguard does not have the toughness to survive like ever, so it can't really be our main game plan. This has no creatures. I guess we're doing this one with the Aerialist, keeping these 2. These 2 spells, that is. Epicure. I guess the good news with this ward 2 is unless they want to Fire Blast it, they can't pay the ward to kill it right here, and then I can just give it protection from red and black, which is not only all of their burn, but also their snackers, so they can't block with that. There's a Highway Robbery. Snacker comes back. Alright, well, we have the mana to do everything here, so I think we just make our guy as big as possible. Vigilance, attack for 5, and protection from black, so we just have them on a 4-turn clock, which is decent. Assuming they don't like Gutter Snipe here. Could be made better with another Ethereal Armor, which would cut the clock to 2, or obviously just like a Spirit Link, which would probably give us the best shot of actually surviving. Instead, we get a Plains, so we'll Courage, attack for 6. There's the Flame Breather, Faithless Looting, double Lava Dart in the graveyard. Ethereal Armor wins us the game here, so that's our best draw. Hyena Umbra is 1 short. It gives +2/+2 because of the Ethereal Armor, so that's 8 damage, and it also means I have to tap because I don't have Vigilance, which means I let them get an extra, well, 4 damage if they attack, 2 if they, an extra 2 damage basically. Plus they have 2 Lava Darts, so I'm pretty sure we just die. Unless they have nothing in hand, which I cannot imagine. Grab the Prize, deals 3, so that puts us to 6, 2 Lava Darts, so they just have to have basically anything else. Faithless Looting, technically that puts us at 1, but now just any spell, come on. Alright, Faithless Looting, we are dead. Alright, we are on the play here, trying to get a sad 2-3. We have a Spirit Link, so we know that we're not against red, because that would be far too helpful. Play the Trailblazer, and, oh, looks like there's some mix-up. Weird. Okay, Percussionist. I cannot think of a world where they could kill this with 0 mana, unless they have like triple Gut Shot in hand, so we're gonna block. And I think we just get Spirit Link and Hyena Umbra down. Now I could attack to gain 3. It's not that much though. They could attack back. How much are they attacking back for? Like, unless they have Burning Tree, Rally, like probably like 4 at the most. Goblin Tomb Raider and like another Percussionist. There's the first one and the Rally. Okay. I mean, might have been better to leave them back because we're taking 5, but we gained 3. Plus, if they attack with everything, we get to hit for another bunch. It just seems like it's pretty hard for them to keep up with us, and obviously we don't want to take too long. Ethereal Armor, oh, that's great. I could get down to Wonder Weave and stuff, but, well, I mean, we're definitely doing Ethereal Armor, because this is adding, like, way too much damage. But I guess I actually just go for the Wonder Weave instead of the Guiding Voice for mana efficiency. Hit for 7, gain 7, and the next turn I have Guiding Voice plus Sokka's Training. Another Tomb Raider. They're going to leave back a 1/1 soldier. I'm going to block one of the soldiers they have coming in. And they concede, yeah. Like I said, Spear Link, just really good against them. Protection from red, and yeah, these are just expensive. I think we just do that swap. Double Spirit Link, Hyena Umbra. We just have the Wonder Weave. We'll give it a try. I mean, if Wonder Weave can survive because of the ward, or maybe we just wait till turn 3 to play it and we Wonder Weave Mask, and then we get Spirit Link, Hyena Umbra on it. They also mulligan to 4. I mean, they're probably looking specifically for... I don't even know what their answer is to Spear Links. There's no Skull Cracks in the format. They're not going to have a way to blow up enchantments. I don't really know what their answer is, truthfully. We're definitely better against Red Rally because they don't have the explosive potential of Gutter Snipes, but I really think that Mono Red Madness is also a fine, and not just fine, a good matchup for us, because we just hit 1 Spear Link and we're probably fine. We just did not hit them. They have a turn 1 Tomb Raider with no haste. To be fair, we have a bit of a slow start. They have a rally. I think I gotta just play the Wonder Weave. If they have... for their last, and we have a lifelink too. If their last cards plus last card plus the one they draw is land and bolt, they can kill the Wonder Weave. But if not, I can get it to start gaining us a million life. They do play a land, and honestly, it looks like they're not going to attack. But if they did, I wouldn't block because maybe they brought in End the Festivities, and that would just hose us. Oh, it looks like they might have the bolt. They're just doing it in our upkeep, which would be worse because we could have Emerge Unscathed. Now they're letting it go. Okay, I mean, we might as well try Mask of Law and Grace, because if they have a way to respond, they're going to use it on anything. If they had a way to kill it, they would have just done it, though. Okay, they didn't. So now I get to go Ethereal Armor and Lifelink. And that's 5. They're not going to be able to compete. I mean, they mulligan really low, but then next turn I get to put all 3 of these on here. It gets +4, so 9/9, and we gain 27. All right, we take down that match real quick. We got a 2-3, not great with the deck. Definitely... not a deck I play a ton. Perhaps I made a couple of mistakes, but also I think that we got a little unlucky against some of those matchups. Not necessarily one of my favorite decks ever, but a solid one that's been getting quite better, and some interesting new innovation with the Guiding Voice that I wanted to try out. Definitely a deck that I like to take when I just want to have some faster games and don't need to think quite as much. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much to my monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out the Metafy link down below. That's the best way to make sure I keep putting out daily videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters: Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, Stya, and Emmanuel Mayer. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.